All right. Y'all stay blessed, stay prayed up. Y'all been watching this edition of Prime Time, Trading Time, the Cookie Edition. Good night.
You've been listening to Training Time on WYSH. Training Time can be heard on AM 1380, FM 101.1, FM 99.5 on your Alexa, simply by saying, Alexa,
Welcome to Off the Glass, another edition of Oak Ridge High School basketball on BBB Communications Channel 1086. We're also streaming the show live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. The head coach of the Lady Wildcats is with me, Coach Kevin Tubbs. Coach, we got Paige Long over here too. Let's switch over there. We don't want to slide her. That's Paige. She's a senior member. She's a little embarrassed there, but she's a senior member of the Lady Wildcats. And Paige will come back and talk to you here in a moment. I want to talk to Coach a little bit. Got a couple games to talk about, and then we want to preview Clinton, and we're going to talk to Paige. We're going to drill Paige. It's like Evelyn last week when all by herself, and like you said, they have to talk when they're all by themselves, and we're not going to have any trouble with her talking, I think. And,
No, not at all.
Let's start with Friday's ball game. The Bearden Lady Bulldogs, and arguably maybe one of the best teams in East Tennessee. I know Bradley's really good, obviously, year after year after year. That Bearden team was really good Friday night.
Yeah, that's a tough way to start your regular season off with with playing Bearden at Bearden. But yeah, they're a really good team. Kind of setting the bar for our district. But it's a tough game, obviously, going over there and playing just our first game regular season. But I think it helped us. I really do. I felt like going from our two Hall of Fame games to that game, we did improve. Mm-hmm. I know the score probably didn't show it, but we did. We're starting to get things together and get things going. But we had way too many turnovers in that game, so gave us a chance to work on our press break a lot.
Let me ask Paige a question. I know, Paige, last year we played Bearden. It's a different team. It's a different Oak Ridge team. Every year's different. The scores of the Cook Bowl game and the Bearden had to be disheartening to somebody, obviously coach the team and you, because you've been a part of some really good teams. How, as a senior, do you keep your younger classmates, who your teammates, I should say, up? I mean, because, you're not used to it, so you've got to feel kind of down a little bit about it. But as a senior, you've got to kind of keep them up. How do you do that?
Yeah, normally I guess I just tell them to look forward to the next game. I mean, the games in the past, all we can do from a loss is get better.
You know, and Coach and I are going to talk about the Farragut game in a minute, but that Bearden ball game, you've played against those girls before. I mean, it's the girls going to Missouri, and you know that's a talented team. When you play teams like that, and I'm going to ask Coach this too, when you play teams like that, you get better by playing it. Do you feel that's the way it is? And what improvements did you see from, and we're going to talk about Farragut in a minute, but between the Bearden game and the Farragut game just a few days later?
I think during the Bearden game, our defense was not as good as it should have been, and after that loss, we realized what we needed to work on, and during the Farragut game, we did it better. I mean,
Coach, you know, it's tough to me. I mean, just I know as a coach, obviously, and I know the girls are the ones that are out there playing. You know, when you get beaten by a team like that, you can be very disheartened, or you can decide that, hey, we've got some things we need to work on and get better. And I'm sure that's the way, the mindset of you for sure, and the girls.
Yeah, we right now, and it'll probably be this way most of the season, having all new kids and new starters and new coaches, is we got to focus on us, and that's kind of been our main thing. We did very little scouting on Farragut. We did a lot of scouting on Bearden. We spent a couple of days just worrying about us and making sure we were in the right places and that people understood their roles. And we're still identifying that. That's still part of the process. But I was extremely happy with the difference in how we played. But yeah, it never feels good to get beat by a lot. But I think we talked about this after the game, even on the show a little bit. But as long as the girls are playing hard and as long as they don't give up, a lot of teams would have just said, "We're done. We're just going to sit down and pout." They don't do that. They're a hard-working group, and if they'll stick with me and we'll keep plugging away, we're going to get a whole lot better.
Chandler, while Coach and I are talking, why don't you go ahead and roll some of the highlights here? And this is obviously from the Bearden ball game, and you know, you and I were talking off the air how Avea Mitchell is carrying a lot of load of the offense. I mean, she's the bulk of the scoring. But I noticed last night in the Farragut game, you had other people that were contributing, including our guest here today, Paige. And we need more of that as a team, because Avea can't do it all, because like you were pointing out, she was just being harassed everywhere she went. And that's the way it's going to be all season with her.
Yeah, we talked, I think even before the season started, Avea and I told her, I said, you know, when you're the point guard, you're going to draw a lot of attention anyway. And the fact that she's scoring a lot and the ball's in her hands, you know, 60-70% of the game, she's going to get everybody's best. She's going to be the target of their best opportunity. I mean, last night she was double teamed almost the entire fourth quarter. Still scored and still kind of kept us in things. So she needs some more help, though, and that's kind of what we've been doing, is trying to develop those other players and figuring out, you know, when and where they can help us. So I think we saw some of that last night, definitely.
You got a new freshman out there, Alani Mitchell, who coming off of a knee injury, who contributed offensively in this ball game in particular. And I know that's an added boost for your other post players to get some rest for one thing, and she adds a little offense as we switch over to last night's ball game. This is a game last night that, you know, you really could have won. I mean,
absolutely.
You were ahead really with like 90 seconds to go in the game, and just it just got away from you.
Yeah. We once again, you know, there's winners and there's learners. So I guess we're still learning right now. But we have just not been in that situation where we had to make really good decisions in the last 2 minutes. And we talked about it after the game, and the girls know we have to have shot selection changes, you know, in the last 2 minutes or so, especially if you got a lead against a good team. So those are things we're going to improve on and get better at. But yeah, that's a game that we will all, the entire team, myself, my wife at home, will look back and go, that was one we should have got. And we played hard enough to win.
Paige, let me ask you about that. You were an off again on-again starter a year ago, but this year you're playing a lot more. I mean, you're playing a lot more, and your role has changed a great deal. In games like this, obviously, you weren't counted on last year to be the person. This year, your role has changed, and how have you adapted to a new role this year as playing a lot more?
I think now I feel more of a leader than I was in the past years. I think I have, I don't know, I think I've just grown in that aspect more. I'm trying, now that I'm a starter and I'm playing a lot more, I'm trying to be more of a player and work as a team player.
Well, you hit your first career 3 last night. Before you had never really shot those before, and I know that had to make you feel good. And I know, Coach, we were talking about this before, that we need obviously more people to score. And obviously, Coach, does everyone have a green light? I mean, how does that work for you?
Oh, no. We try to make sure the right people are shooting in the right places. Once again, basketball is not an equal opportunity sport. Everybody's got a role, and we try to make sure that the referees are reffing, I'm coaching, and the girls are playing. But each person has to kind of live up to their own talent and kind of what we need from them in that game. And it might be just based on who we're playing and what they have. Mm-hmm. But right now we're still figuring out those roles, and I think that's something that we've got to get better at is, in the last 2 minutes, okay, who's shooting, where are they shooting? But I'll give credit to the girls. Of course, it was probably 7 or 8 minutes late, but when we're in the locker room talking about it after the game, and I said, okay, what kind of shots do we want in the last 2 minutes? They said the right thing. They said free throws and layups, and so we'll get there. But that was one of those games where you're in the heat of the moment. Split that second decisions are tough. They're tough. You can't take them back.
Paige, let me ask you, you said a moment ago that, you feel like you're more of a leader this year. Obviously, on the basketball court, how is your role? What is your role in your mind?
I try to keep everybody focused whenever we're running through plays. If the younger girls are on the baseline talking, I try to get them focused. If we're in a game and we're in spots nobody really knows the play that well, I try to guide them through the play.
I remember last year you and I talked about this, and I don't know if I was picking on you. I was saying we'd love for you to shoot the ball a little bit more, because you were last year especially, you were very unselfish. I mean, when you were in there, you were passing. I mean, to Jenna or Zay or whoever. This year, do you see yourself needing to be a little bit more aggressive offensively, or is that something Coach wants you to do?
Yeah, I definitely think I need to be more aggressive offensively, but I still see myself as more of a passer.
Coach, how do you see her role on the floor?
Yeah, she right now she plays the 4 for us, and it's kind of an unsung hero spot. And just if you're watching us play, Paige, I think the very first day I met her and we walked into the gym, I said, you're going to be the 4 and you have to get the ball in. It should never hit the floor. I don't think it's hit the floor more than twice. And most people don't even notice that in the game, because she's sprinting to the goal, getting it out of the net and getting it in, hopefully before the other team can press us. So that's kind of an unsung thing. Another thing that she has to do that's tough is she's the trail. So when the point guard gets in trouble, she's got to always be there. Mm-hmm. And she's got to always be there, but then she's also got to get rid of the ball quick, because we don't really want her bringing it down the floor. So it's a tough spot to play the 4. But we've talked. I think she's a warrior. I think she can rebound really well, and I would like to see her get more offensive rebounds. And I think Paige is one of those players that if the ball is on the floor, she needs to be on the floor. And I think if we can get that kind of effort, she's going to help us tremendously.
Well, I think I told you this. I've joked with Paige before about all of her teammates last year said, in practice she was the one beating them up with her elbows and all that. They all almost to a player. I mean, Zayana, was an incredibly physical player, said the same thing about Paige, and which you don't have that in every player. A lot of our girls, and Paige is a very nice girl, but I mean, you don't have that. Our personalities of our team tend to be very nice,
Yes,
which
yes.
which is a good thing in life. Sometimes not so much in basketball.
Well, and I don't know if Paige will care if I share this, but literally in practice, I think maybe 4, 5, 6 days ago, we didn't even have defense on the floor, and she took out one of our players for a minute, not intentionally, not intentionally. She kind of hit her right in the neck with an elbow, and we kind of had to pause for a minute and make sure everybody was okay. But no, Paige plays hard. Really every girl on the team is playing hard for me right now, so I can't complain.
So Paige, when you hit her in the neck, what was going through your mind at this point?
I honestly don't even know. I think I blinked for 1 second, and like Avea was just choking. I don't even know, but I don't know.
You know, right now, Coach, we talked about this. We've talked about it actually every time we've talked. Your December schedule is brutal. I mean, you've got really the two best teams in the district you've already played now, Bearden and Farragut. And
Right.
I'm looking at Ray County, McMinn County, Lenoir City, and Hardin Valley. You know, Hardin Valley I think can be okay, but you know, but in my opinion, you don't have to say this, but in my opinion, I think you played the two best teams right out of the chute.
Right.
Which unfortunately you've lost them both in district ball games, but you know you see where you can get better when it gets down the road here, I guess.
Yeah, I think we looked at it the other day, and I think so we play Clinton next. They're 8-1. Then we'll play Concord Christian. They've only lost 2 games, and then we'll play CAK, and I think they've lost 1. And so when you start going through it, I think combined, everybody we're going to play in these next 5 or 6 games has lost a grand total of less than 7 games. So hopefully we can add some losses to their records pretty soon. But it's going to help us in January. It's going to really help us. I'm just so thankful that we're finally playing.
Paige, you know what happens on April the 14th?
No,
Bob Dylan is going to be at the Knoxville
I do know that.
Coliseum and in concert. Are you going?
Yep. I already sent the link to my dad. My mom sent me a screenshot of the pre-sale tickets. I think it's going to happen.
We had this conversation last year, and I you know, Coach Taylor was totally out of it because I was more interested in what Paige was telling me about watching or listening, enjoying the music of a 60s and 70s performer, and that's why I called her an old soul because that really surprised me. Did you know that?
No, but it sounds like she's been brought up right.
Yeah, well, I mean that is her favorite entertainer, at least music-wise. I don't know. You have a favorite actor?
There's one on the tip of my tongue. He played in Taxi Man. Robert De Niro. I like
Well,
him.
there's another one from way back.
Way
in the-
back, yeah.
It
Yeah.
isn't like somebody current, like Timothy, whatever his name is.
Oh, Chalamet.
Yeah, him. Did you know that Coach here likes to fly fish? Did you know that? That is something that he really enjoys that maybe you didn't know about him. And you
Nope.
know what fly fishing is?
No, I don't.
Coach, you want to explain what fly fishing is?
It's basically fishing, but you're not using your standard lure. You're throwing something in the water that's supposed to mimic an actual fly or something that would land on the water. So you're actually watching a little speck float on the water, hoping something bites it. So
What made you decide to get into that? I know it's a basketball show, but
no,
I'm interested in this.
it was actually it was a movie. River Runs Through It.
I remember that.
It's a great movie about fly fishing, and so
Is
I
that
always
Robert
wanted to try
Redford?
it. Robert Redford,
Okay.
yeah. So I really wanted to try it, and my son actually, he was probably 7, 8, 9 years old. He bought us 2 lessons to come actually up to Gatlinburg and take 2 lessons of fly fishing.
Okay.
And we've both been hooked ever since, to be honest, for lack of not trying to make something funny there, but yeah, we just love it. It's nice to go out in the creeks and the streams and fish in the mountains. Yeah.
Paige, do you have any hobbies? Anything like that you like to do besides? I know you play basketball, obviously, and you go to school, but do you have any hobbies, things you like to do?
Well, I'm in a band currently with some of my friends.
Okay, what do you play?
I play the guitar.
You sing?
Not yet.
Okay.
kinda iffy.
What kind of music do you play?
we're kind of a garage band right now, but we don't have a drummer, so it's a little messy. I would compare us to like Weezer, though.
Did you know this too?
I did not.
That's one of the best things about it. You learn. I learned. I'm telling you, Coach Taylor just sat there for like 10 minutes while I talked to Paige back and forth about things like that, and that's what I like about. That's why I like high school sports. I mean, a lot of people say, why do you still do high school sports? And I say, well, because, these are my hometown people. I grew up here, and, you get to know them personally. Mm-hmm. And as a coach, every coach I've ever talked to says the personal relationships. Yeah, you remember if you win a state championship or a district or a region or a sub-state, go to the state tournament, but it's the personal relationships that you would probably remember the most.
No, absolutely. It's about people, not points. I mean, it really is. And I get invited to weddings all the time. Kind of comes with the job, I guess. But it's really cool to keep up with them after they leave school. And I tell them all the same thing, and so you'll hear it early, Paige, at the senior event. You'll be scrolling through your phone one day and you'll come across Coach Stubbs' name. Don't ever delete it. Don't ever delete it. You'll never know when you might need something, or I might need something, or I just want to chit chat. So it's important to have those relationships with the kids.
Well, I'm going to ask Paige something too, and Coach. Maybe I should have ran this by you before I asked her, but I want to ask her this. Playing for a male coach as compared to playing for Coach Taylor in the past, how is it different?
I don't really see it much different. I mean, he has to knock before he walks in the locker room, but I mean, I don't really see anything different.
Yeah, well, basketball is basketball, and both had different styles. One thing that I'm not going to ask you to compare them. Each coach is different. I'm not asking you that, but each coach has a different style, and his style is much different from Coach Taylor's. But both are very effective. So, I guess that's all that really matters is just.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have to coach your personality. Yeah. And so you have to, and I will say, we've talked about it before, when I was younger, I was a bit more intense. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of figured out that, it's really about helping them understand why they're doing it, not just making them do it. Mm-hmm. We're going to win a lot more games when it clicks and they know why they're doing it. Mm-hmm. I can make them do a lot, but that's not going to help us win.
I got a question for both of you. I'll start with Paige here. And I think I've asked you this before, and I want to ask the same question to you, Coach. Do you have a bucket list that you want to do in your lifetime or in the near future, whatever, that you've thought about that you want to do?
Well, I think last time you asked that, I said I wanted to go see Bob Dylan live, and I did.
Remember.
So
That's why I started this conversation.
Yeah, that one's checked off. I guess make it into the Air Force Academy. That's honestly my top priority right now.
Coach, you have a bucket list still? I know you're not an old man, but you're not a young man as much anymore. Do you still have any bucket list things you want to do?
I've been pretty blessed. I've been able to do a lot of things. I guess my bucket list now has shifted from me more to my son. Things that I want to be able to watch him do.
Okay.
So I think that's a big one. If he's watching this, he's gonna kill me now, but that's okay. But yeah, I mean, it's I've had a good run, and I just want to keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, let me ask you. I'm gonna ask both of you here. What's the most exciting thing you've done? I mean.
Oh wow. I'll have to say when I was in college and I was helping out with the UAB basketball team. Mm-hmm. I got to travel the country with the team, and there was nothing better than that. I was able to go to Alaska, Hawaii, met some really good people, got to meet John Wooden. So I would say when I was in college and traveling around with the team, that's definitely a highlight.
Paige, what's the most exciting thing in your young life that you've done?
That's a hard question.
Well, you haven't had as many years to do these things as Coach has, and you're a student for the most part. But
maybe start a rocket club, the first rocket club at Oak Ridge. That was pretty exciting to me.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, I've taken like physics courses throughout high school, and I guess I just noticed a lot of people liked Rockets like I do, and I just started a club, and it's actually been really fun.
Coach, she is one of the more interesting people that I have actually interviewed on this show before. She's so diverse about the things that she likes, the things she enjoys, and she seems to enjoy everything, it seems like, and which is and that's why she's going to be very successful in life. And you said that if you need something, she's the one to go to, I think.
Absolutely. I'm already starting my list. But all the girls, and Paige, included, obviously, but all the girls are very interesting. I think what Paige is able to do is answer questions and talk. And she's not ashamed of what she thinks and what she's going to do. So hopefully we can get some of the other girls in here and we can get them talking too.
You got Clinton coming up on Friday. You don't have a game on Tuesday, but then, as you mentioned, like at Friday you play Tuesday you play Concord Christian,
Yes.
and that is a unscheduled ball game from the original schedule. It'll be at the Wildcat Arena. What time is that? Is 6 o'clock?
Yes.
6 o'clock. So that'll be Tuesday. And then Friday you play CAK.
Yeah, and the 5-star prep.
So, but the Clinton game, and I don't want Paige to create any bulletin board material here, but, I know, and I see one of the guys has just walked in the door. I think all of you all circle that game, I would think, just because of why. Why is Clinton game so important to you?
I guess the energy during the game. It's not like any other game we play. I think there's more pressure on us to win, honestly, than any of the better teams we play.
I remember, and Coach Green's here, and I remember telling Coach Green before we ever went to Clinton, and he'll probably remember this, and he and I'll probably talk about this when his segment of the show comes, that, that's one team, you're going to have to, you have to beat. I mean, or we've got to show up. And you might or might not like them. I mean, you might not, and rivalries are that way.
Sure.
And you don't want to play teams that you don't care about. And you're not going to have to motivate these girls on Friday, I can tell you.
Oh no, I'm sure they'll be ready to go. But I know I'm in Tennessee, but I am an Alabama guy, so I hate to kind of quote Nick Saban. But we're gonna worry about us and make sure that we're focused on that and try not to get into all of the emotion. But being ready to go will not be an issue.
Paige, I'm going to ask you 2 more questions here, so we're running really short here of time. You said you wanted to go to the Air Force Academy. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
And have you started that process? Or
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's involved with that?
Well, I've had to be interviewed by the 2 senators and our congressman. It's like a 20-minute interview with a board of people. I've had to write a couple essays. I'm still not even done with the process, but I have to do a fitness assessment, all sorts of things.
What will this team have to do to get to the place where you want to be at the end of the year?
Run our press right. I think if we can run our press right, we can win games.
Well, Paige, I appreciate any shout-outs you'd like to make.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom.
Okay. It's Paige Long. She's a senior member of the Oak Ridge Lady Wildcat basketball team. Coach, we got 2 minutes, it looks like, here. Just your final comments and a little quick scouting report on Clinton.
Yeah, they're 8-1. They've already played 9 games, so that definitely gives them an edge. And of course, we're playing at their place. Yeah. I think you will see 2 teams that are very similar. Both teams are going to play really, really hard. Both teams are pretty just aggressive, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's not going to be a pretty game. Both teams are not going to come down and run a bunch of offense. We're going to go down and kind of have a little slugfest in a good way.
There's the girl right there.
In a good way. But no, I think it'll come down to who's getting on the floor for loose balls, who's making free throws. I think it'll be that type of game.
Coach, I appreciate you joining us here, and good luck on Friday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's Kevin Tubbs. He's the head coach of the Oak Ridge Lady Wildcats. We appreciate him and Paige Long for joining us here. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, I'm going to speak to the head coach of the boys basketball team, Coach Aaron Green. Looks like we also have Jarrell Jemerson in the house as well. We'll talk to him. We'll be back on Off the Glass in a moment.
I enjoy living and raising a family in East Tennessee because it's always been home to me. One thing that makes Fox Insurance Group stand out from other agencies is our customer service. Insurance, a lot of times, for a lot of people, is not something they really like to deal with, so I like to be there for them and help them through the process. It makes me feel good when I know my customer can rely on me and trust me. Yes, I'm very excited Fox Insurance Group is now an independent agency. It opens up so many doors for our customers and the agency as a whole, and we're going to be there for you when you need us the most.
Who are you not to be uncommon? Who are you not to be one in a million? 100 million? Your day job is what you do, but it doesn't define you. In a world of common, it might. But you? You were born to do uncommon things with the time you've been given. When's the last time Common fought a wildfire? Or brought a town back from the dark? Or stood against a rising flood? Common doesn't do that. Uncommon does that. And here, where uncommon lives are shaped, is where history will find you. A few weeks a year, and you'll discover the most uncommon time of your life.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
Ugh, come on, seriously? This is so extra.
but what you could say is,
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
your local State Farm agents are available to help you online, over the phone, or in person. State Farm agents are here to help answer your questions and help you file your claim.
This is so extra.
Get with someone who can actually help. Contact me, Agent Laura Lynn Green, today.
This is Melvin Jackson, inviting you to experience mouth-watering, slow-smoke barbecue that hits every spot every time. Fats Barbecue is now open in Oak Ridge at 366 East Tennessee Avenue. Stop by our brand new storefront or catch our award-winning food truck on the move. For over 30 years, our award-winning barbecue has been a staple in the East Tennessee. Perfectly smoked meats, hearty sides, and then that down-home flavor you love. Planning an event, we cater weddings, parties, and more. Call 865-421-3287. Fats Barbecue, where every guest is family. Follow the smoke, find the flavor.
Welcome back to Off the Glass on a very cool, blustery day in December, getting set for a very busy end of the month of December. A lot of basketball to be played by the girls and the guys, and obviously joining me is the head coach of the Wildcats in his 16th year at Oak Ridge, the former Tennessee Vol basketball player, Aaron Green. First off, before we talk about your basketball team, 3 straight losses for the Vols. I mean, that doesn't happen much, not in the Barnes era.
No, they those 3 really good teams. At Syracuse, they lost to Kansas after they beat Houston, at Syracuse, and a really good Illinois team. So that's good for them. I think they'll get better from that. Schedule doesn't get any easier. I kept up with them a lot. They got Louisville coming up, but they always play a tough schedule, and they'll be good at the end of the year.
Let me ask Jarrell Jimerson here. He's our senior guest here today. Jarrell, do you follow a college basketball team, or do you have a favorite team?
Here and there, yeah, I'm a Vol for sure, but I watch it here and there. I'd be more on college football than anything, but yeah, I'm definitely into college basketball.
So you're more of a football guy than a.
Yeah, but I've been watching though. I'm a Vol for sure, for both sports.
Okay. Well, Jarrell, we're going to come back and talk to you here about you and your basketball team. I've got the coach here to talk about a couple games here, and we'll let Chandler go ahead and start rolling some of the highlights here. The first one talk about is the Bearden game this past Friday over there, packed house as we expected. A team that you eliminated last year in the region tournament. This is a really good team. You play like 6 or 7 seniors on this team, and you played them tough. They'd make a run. You'd make a run on them, get close. They'd make a run on you. It was a tough game.
Yeah, tough game. I mean, we knew obviously a very veteran team with, like you said, I know I think all 5 starters are seniors. Got a lot of good players returning from last year's team. Very experienced, and I think the part that separates them, they got really good guard play. I think they basically start 4 guards. All of them can shoot it and handle it, and
They defend well, they play hard, well coached, and we had some stretches where we played well and just didn't really, I think I said this in post game. We had too many mistakes, turned the ball over, which led to easy baskets for them, and we let them get going from the 3-point line as well, and we had a stretch there where we couldn't really, turned it over so much we wouldn't get many shots off, but we had stretches where we played well, but I think again that game will make us better. I thought we made some improvements from this game to our game last night, so that was a good sign.
And this was over at Bearden. I was talking to Coach Chubb just a moment ago about these first 2 district games. Again, I haven't seen McMinn County. They seem to have a pretty decent record, but you might have played your 2 best teams in the district in the first 2 district games.
Yeah, just looking at the schedule, the new district was randomly selected as far as the schedule of your games, when you're playing, who you're playing, and when you're playing them. So it kind of fell where you're at, the first district game, that Beard, and then you got Farragut right after that. Our league's tough top to bottom. Just looking at some scores, Lenoir City's way better than you think. They beat McMinn County, went down to Ray County and won by like 50. So they're solid. McMinn County's got a good win over Tellico, who's really probably the best team they've ever had. Hardin Valley lost by 7 last night to Bearden.
I saw that.
So it's a tough league. I think most coaches in our league would probably say that Bearden, is probably the best team, on paper right now. But it's a long season and a lot of games to be played.
Here's some of the highlights from last night's win over Farragut. Really a fun game to watch. Maybe not from a coaching standpoint because it was very nerve-wracking. I mean, you jumped out. You had a 15-point lead at one point. Never trailed except I think 6-5. I think was the only time you trailed. And after that, I think they tied it at one time, but 67-67. But for the most part, a really, really solid win for your team last night.
Yeah, I thought we got off to a really good start. I thought, Charlie got going, made his first shot, and I think he saw a couple go in, and rim got a little bit bigger for him. So he got going, and, we played a lot better defensively. There's a steal there for a bucket. I thought our defense was much better. We took care of the ball a ton better. We had a stretch there in the second quarter when we lost our lead where we turned it over a few times, and we let number 1 get loose for, I think, 4 threes in the second quarter. So we went from 15 to 7 or 8 there pretty quick. But, we hung on and made enough plays down the stretch, to win the game. We gotta keep the other team off the foul line. They shot 27 free throws. We've got to get to the foul line more. We only shot 12. So that's a stat we've got to look at. But overall, I thought we improved drastically from Friday night to Tuesday, and we just got to keep making progress.
Coach, I see a guy sitting in the stands over there to the right whose son plays for Farragut, and we talked about this last week. Why could you not get Halston's son to come over here and play?
Yeah, Halston Lane, friend of ours. Halston's obviously still the all-time leading scorer, right?
Yeah, we've only had 2,000-point scorers, and he's one of them.
Yeah, he's over 2,000 points. Georgia Tech, UNC,
Wilmington.
Heck of a high school player. I remember watching him play, and still involved with basketball here local with the Tennessee Travelers. So, he lives in Knoxville, and his, some of his other kids, went to Farragut, so it's kind of hard to get them over here.
Well, we got Jarrell Jemerson with us, and Jarrell, I know getting the win last night was big. I mean, obviously you didn't want to go 0-2 in the district. Talk about the win last night as a team.
It felt good, especially after bouncing back after the loss of Bearden. And the energy was there, our effort, our communication. It was just a better as a team standpoint. We played together overall, I feel like.
We've got Jarrell Jemerson. Let's switch over to him real quick. I'm going to ask him a question here. Coming off of a really good football year. You had a really good year in football. You've had to do so many different things offensively and defensively. You got hurt late in the year. And I've watched the transition from football to basketball players. It's usually rough to begin with.
It's
talk about that and how it has been for you to come off the football field and then kind of transition to basketball.
Yeah, it's rough from the beginning for sure. But like Coach Green tells us all the time, try to stay in the gym while, you don't got to do too much, but get some shots up. Try to stay on top of your game so you don't get too far behind, which is what I was trying to do. But, I feel like my injury, I'm still, finding myself when I play right now in basketball. I'm getting it back in rhythm and, finding myself with my teammates. So.
And he basically runs the point for you, and that's obviously a very important position on the team. And I've seen it for years, Coach. When the football guys come off, generally they're tackling people out on the basketball, or just their ball handling skills are not there. That comes eventually, but the only way to do it is to get out there and play.
Yeah, I think I just think about that. When I was playing basketball and in college, I had some injuries, and then you're out for a while with an injury, and you come back. Two things that stand out when you come from an injury or from one sport to the other, like football to basketball. Number one, your conditioning. We're not huddling up in basketball; it's up and down the floor. So the conditioning is one thing, and then just your timing. Of having the ball bounce back up to your hand. You kind of take those things for granted. Your the rhythm on your shot. So all those things take a little time to get back. From coming from football. Unless you're in your gym a lot, it's hard to just come back and snap your fingers and have it. So he's done well. I think last night he was dealing with a little bit of sickness and kind of had to take him in and out. But his condition will get better and his timing will get better, and he'll continue to improve.
Let me ask you about that, Jarrell. Obviously, as a point guard, I mean, you were more of a backup guy last year. You were sixth man, seventh man. Ray was obviously the point, so you've had to step in to that role, and you're a different player from him. You're a different player. Talk about your strengths as a player and what you bring to the basketball team.
Well, I say I'm somewhat, but like his craft is definitely different. But I feel like I'm better at getting my teammates open and helping them get better shots. But like when it is my time to score, I'll find it to score the ball too as well.
Well, see, that's what I wanted to. I was kind of inching towards. He looked to score a lot more than you do.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
So far, I don't know. I know you can score, but you look to pass before shoot. Ray was a little bit more of a.
And that's why I feel like that's the part of football coming into basketball is me still finding myself. It's just time. It's like my first couple games in, and I'm still just I don't want to make the wrong mistakes sometimes. So I try to get my teammates the right ball, the right option, and get them open.
Coach, it's good attitude. He wants to get his teammates involved.
Yeah, he impacted the game last night drastically with his defense. I thought he did a really good job on Parker Lane. When he was on him, he had created a couple turnovers, had some good driving kicks and did some good things that impacted the win for us. So he's a big part of what we're doing and a big part of our success going forward. And obviously, just one of two seniors. Him and Charlie are only two seniors, so expecting a lot out of them. And like I said, I've said this since you've known me. There's a lot of ways to impact the game other than just scoring, and he's got all those qualities, and he can score as well.
Jerome, when you got a guy like Charlie, who I think he had 33 last night, 33 points, when you're a point guard, I mean, you can see that happening. I know Coach has plays for you to run, obviously, that you're supposed to run when he calls them, but when you know a guy like Charlie is on fire like that, do you try to find him a little bit more often than maybe somebody else?
Honestly, yeah, I definitely look for him when he's the guy on fire, but I also try to feed off of him too, because like that's when guys start to focus more on him and penetrate off of what he does more, and then they get more lackadaisical on the other guys and leave us open for more points.
Coach, you said something to me last night after the ball game, which I found to be interesting, that there was other times that you were trying to get the ball to Charlie. Do you have just set plays? I mean, because all your guys can score in some ways, but Charlie has been the guy so far. Do you have just set plays just for Charlie?
Yeah, we've pretty much we've got set plays really for every position. I think a lot of it depends on matchups. Charlie got the hot hand last night. He started off, made, like I said earlier, I think his first 3 shots, and he kind of started feeling a little bit. So, and he was feeling it. He was like, you can just tell he was confident they were going in. So we were trying to get him the ball, but just like that last shot, the 3 we made there to win it, Charlie drew a double team, and Eli got a wide open look. So just because we're running a play to maybe get it in Charlie's hands, sometimes we talked about it today and watching film and in practice, it may generate somebody else an opportunity to score. If Charlie catches it, we had some isolation posts for him last night, and and they've got to dig and help, and it's going to get other people's shots. So. I think when you've got somebody that's hot like that, you can the other guys can get shots from that.
Jarrell, last year you played in the state championship game, played all the way through the state tournament, and lost a good senior class. Obviously, it's kind of a different team. Every team's different, but now that you're a senior and those guys are gone, talk about your role and how it has changed. Not necessarily on the basketball court. I know you're playing a lot more, but your role perhaps as a leader on the team as being one of only 2 seniors.
Honestly, I feel like I kind of feel like I'm the same leader as I was last year, as of like on top of with the other leaders. Like, I definitely try to get their heads up when it was a down moment or a bad time. And, even on the bench, it's important to be that leader on the bench to encourage them when it's bad times. And I try to do the same this year, keep our communication up, just help us not to forget like what we shouldn't, and just stay on top of what we need to.
I know you lost the state championship game last year, obviously not good, but but you had to feel, it was a fun run for you guys last year to get all the way to the state championship game. Talk about that experience last year.
No, it was fun for sure. It was something new. It was a good experience, and seeing the crowd playing up there at MTSU, it was a good opportunity.
Coach, I know, and when you were in high school, you got to play for the state championship like every year.
Yeah.
And did you take it for granted year after year? I know these guys, the first time we've played in a few years for the state championship, like 2014. Mm-hmm. So did you take it for granted when you were in school?
Probably. I think all high school kids take a lot of things for granted, so I'm sure I did. Just looking back on my playing career, when I was at Sweetwater, we played 9 state tournament games. So we were there my sophomore, junior, and senior year, made the state championship game every year, won it my junior year. But yeah, some of those, I remember about all 9 of them, even to this day. So those are some of the best memories you have. Other than just, we won it in 1994, but, I still remember, a lot of those other games, and those are really, really good times. I mean, I was fortunate enough to play in SEC and at Kentucky, at Arkansas, all those places, Florida. And, so those are some of the best memories I had as a basketball player was at Murphy Center.
Coach, you got the Clinton Dragons coming up here, and I don't want – I said this to Paige earlier too. I don't want Jarrell to get any bulletin board material here, but you're playing Clinton, which is the cross-county rivals. We've had great rivalries with them for all of 80 years, however long we've had at school, 82 years playing them. What's it like playing the Dragons, and what's it like? What is that rivalry like? Is it our number 1 rivalry still?
I mean, it's nothing new to us. I mean, we go down there, handle business, or they come down here, take care of business wherever it's at. I mean, we play clean. We know how they play. They play dirty sometimes. I mean, it ain't nothing new to us though.
But are they our rival, our biggest rival, or is it some of the other teams? We don't.
I hear like Farragut is our rival sometimes, but I say Clinton is our biggest rival most definitely still.
Well, in football, I think we play Farragut a little bit more in football, so that we don't play. Coach, I remember I was talking to Coach Tubbs earlier about. I remember the first conversation I had about Clinton. We won't go all the way through it, but rivalry games are fun.
Yeah.
For the fans especially. Coach Tubbs said, it's going to be a war, and it always is a war when we play them. And that gym over there especially, I like that gym. I like going to that gym. But it's always so hot in there. I mean, it's like 95 degrees all the time. But those are the kind of things I remember from it. But rivalry ball games, how important? Obviously, they're not as important as they used to be to play them, because it used to be for the district championship or this, but it's just now just for pride, I think.
Right. Yeah, I think it was probably a little bit more of a rivalry when they were in our district. And I know before I think the year before I got here in 2010, I think in 2009, Clinton beat us in the district championship.
They did.
And I remember I've watched some of your games you've posted on YouTube with Clinton and the old gym and packed, and I think Halston Lane was one of those games.
He was most of those games.
So the history of that rivalry, and there's been a lot of really big games. I know I don't remember what you all as a coach. I always remember a loss that year. They hit a last second 3 over there. I don't remember what year.
Thackerson kid.
Yeah. So. But yeah, fun game to play. I think it's more. I think the communities enjoy it. I have a lot of people come up to me in the last couple of days. Hey, you need to wear a short sleeve shirt, coach, and talk about the heat. And you get people text you that normally don't text you about, the game at Clinton. So it's a rivalry. I think that's fun. I think both teams, the players enjoy it. I think it's those are fun games to play as a high school athlete. So looking forward to it.
You don't have a Tuesday ball game. The girls play Concord Christian. That's the standalone ball game. But next Friday, you play Sevier County, a team. I think it's Sevier County. Yeah, and you played them about 400 times last year. It just seemed like every time you turned around, we were playing Sevier County. The year before that, we played them. I think we've played them like 7 times in 2 years, something like that, including, last year in the sub-state ball game, essentially the state tournament.
Yeah. And also, I don't really like playing local teams, non-conference as much. I was a little disappointed that we had a local team on the matchup just because, we played them so much, and it could be a possible sectional game because that's we played them last year in the sectional, go to the state tournament. So. But it is what it is. That's one of the reasons, we go out of town. Usually we're going to Nashville afterwards. We went to Lebanon Thanksgiving to try to play some different competition. But yeah, Sevier County's really good. Coach Wright's a good friend of mine. He's probably one of the best coaches, and I've said it every time we play them. He's a really, really good coach. His teams are hard to play against. They run good offense. They're really disciplined. They guard you. So very similar team. They're just getting their football guys back, so it's kind of really pointless to look at their record and all those things. But it'll be they've got, they lost a couple guys off the sectional team from last year that when we won that game by 2, it went down to the wire. Right. And I don't think, they didn't lose quite as many as we did without looking at the roster, but they got, a handful of those guys back, so it'll be a challenge.
And you could play Fulton in the second round too, which is, a team you're going to play in the last game of the year, and it's either them or Heritage. I think.
Heritage, yeah, and I didn't really like that either. I don't think Coach Wright wanted to play. Jody and I kind of keep that. We've had that game, the Fulton game, last up for I don't know how many years it's been. Years.
Except for last year when you had to play Sevier County and Sevier.
Yeah, it was a makeup
But
game.
for the most part, it's Fulton.
It's always sit there at the end. We do it for a reason. Usually, the last few years they've been good, we've been good, and it's a good crowd and it's a good game to play going into the tournament. So we don't really like playing. Playing kind of waters it down, I guess, if you play a team so many times. So. But it is what it is. We'll, again, good teams. I don't think we have any bad teams on our schedule. So it'll be. I think both the first 2 nights. I think that Friday and Saturday will be at Fulton, and then on Monday, the 22nd, will be at Grace.
Right. Jarrell, who are your favorite teams to play?
I'd probably say either Alcoa, Fulton, Clinton, between them 3.
What's it like playing? I mean, Fulton's always good. I mean, they're always in the last several years they go to the state tournament. They win the state championship like all the time. It seems like. Why do you like playing them?
It's just always a good crowd, good environment, good 2 teams going at it, and it's coming down to the 4th quarter, so you got it.
What's your favorite memory so far playing ball for Oak Ridge?
Favorite memory? I don't know, honestly.
Last year was a pretty special year.
No, last year was definitely a special year. I can't remember too much of, the last state championship games, but, I'm pretty sure it came down to a close I think it was Whitehaven, I'm pretty sure.
The second game, yeah.
Yeah, that game was a real tough game to beat. I definitely remember that, and it was a clutch moment. Ray was having a great game. And
Coach, my apologies to basketball here. I'm going to ask him a football question here. I didn't get a chance to speak to him in football. What was your favorite memory this year, or, last year, making it to the Final Four in the state in football? What's your favorite football memory?
Probably my Halls game, just because the exposure I got off of it, my first game right off the bat, especially after I broke my ankle my junior season. It was my first game back from all the games I missed my junior season. So that first game back from Halls, that was a big game for me.
Beating Farragut and Bearden had to be pretty special too, because they had beaten us as well the previous year. But
yeah.
Anything about this particular team that kind of stands out to you? How far can this team go? Obviously, you played for the state championship last year, and high expectations always at Oak Ridge. Coach will say that. It doesn't matter who the people are. That's where you want to be. What's your expectations for the rest of this year?
Just like he says, it's not the what's it called? It's the process.
Not the end result.
Or not the end result. Yeah. So. And that's what I think we just got to keep building, keep going off of each other, getting the team chemistry right, and just keep working.
What makes good chemistry, in your opinion?
I just say I mean, bonding with your teammates, talking, even when it is in practice, you know, just talking, always talking, communication. I say plays a big role.
So, Coach, obviously this is something you preached to him, what you said to the mic while he was talking. What is that?
Yeah, focus on the process, not the end result. I think it's something we probably all should try to live by, because a lot of times you get caught up in, you know, the end result too much, instead of, you know, just focusing on what you got to do each day to be your best and giving your best effort regardless of the circumstances, good or bad, and always trying to get better and always trying to improve. And in basketball in general, in sports, in my opinion, I think if you're doing that process of those things I just mentioned, usually the wins will take care of themselves. So not getting really caught up in, you know, winning a district title or region title. We don't really talk a ton about that, you know, ever really, you know. We just try to get better. Obviously, we got goals of what we want to do. And, you know, like you said, at Oak Ridge, the expectations are pretty clear, you know, and our expectations are really high. So, you know, just doing that, I think that's. I'm glad he said that. At least they listen. The guys listen sometimes. So, but yeah, you know, that's really what it is. And just, I think if you get better, and you know, again, in basketball, everybody's in a postseason. Everybody makes a district tournament. So, you know, who's going to be playing their best in the year, and who can make the most progress from the start of the season to the end.
Jarrell, let me ask you something here about you personally. What things do you like to do besides playing sports? Do you have any hobbies? Anything you like to do? Is there anything you have any special talents? Can you sing, dance?
I just be playing the game with my friends, honestly, or like, I mean, I like reselling like clothes and stuff, and like AirPods, or like just, but like as a individual hobby, I just be really chilling, playing the game, resting.
What do you want to do after high school? Do you want to play sports after high school?
Yeah, it's a thought, but I definitely want to get into real estate and do big in that.
Is that something you've always wanted to do?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Anything you'd like to say before we close it out? We're getting close to the end here.
Go Grizz.
I have one more question too. Do you have any bucket list things that you want to do in life? Go traveling or anything like that? Is that something
Yeah, I want to hit all 50 states for sure, and definitely go out the country one time.
Okay. Well, Jarrell, I appreciate you joining us, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's Jarrell Jimerson, senior member. You only have two, as you mentioned, and we'll get Charlie on Sunday. I don't know, scoring 33 points one night, 27 points the next night. I mean, you know, are we ever going to get Charlie in here too?
Oh yeah, I think he had to practice for his dance. He got some dancing competition or something.
I should have asked Jarrell about that.
I got to get a ticket for that.
Coach, we got like 3 minutes or so, or whatever Chandler just said. Okay, 2 minutes. So you've got toughest schedule that you've had, you said. You're coming off of a very big win. I want to ask you, what improvements have you seen since the Cookville ball game to the game last night that you went over Farragut?
Yeah, I think you know, our from the Bearden game especially, you know, our defense was a lot better. You know, for longer periods of time, our effort and energy was good. You know, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me we took care of the ball a lot better, and I think that limited them a little bit. You know, 67 points, 70-67 is a little bit more points than we want, but the pace we play and stuff like that, you know, obviously Bearden had 81. I bet 20-something of them from, you know, our turnovers probably. So it's a little bit deceiving that your defense is not good depending on how much you turn it over. So I thought that was an improvement. And, you know, and again, I've said this, you know, when ball's going in the hole like it was for Charlie, you know, it kind of gets everybody, it makes everything else go better. So, but again, you're not always going to shoot it like that. Teams are going to, you know, guard you better and, you know, try to take him out. So we got to have other guys that can make plays when we do. So, but again, we got a lot of improvement to do. We still, you know, clean up some of our execution. We had several breakdowns offensively last night, trying to get into certain things, and that's just that inexperience with some of our guards. And I think that's probably the area we can improve the most.
Coach, I appreciate your time once again. And good luck on Friday against the Dragons.
Appreciate it.
Creating memories.
Yeah, creating Christmas memories. We're still short of what we want to raise. We're trying to get $3,600 for the kids shopping. Every $100 we get, we're taking another kids shopping on the 21st. So if you're listening and want to donate, have an extra $100, drop it off to high school, and we'll take a kid shopping.
Coach, thanks a lot. Appreciate Chandler in the back. This is David Clary. Until next week, saying so long, everybody.